actually affecting?
Well, I mean, there is the book Microdosing with Amanita by Baba Masha, which Jim Fadiman wrote the foreword for, but it is also true that there's a lot less research with Amanita generally. And when you say it isn't as fun, I mean, I only use Amanita in really small amounts. Like I have a tincture from All Things Amanita, which is a site that I trust, and I have 2 or 3 or 5 drops at most, 1/5 of the pipette, and it's such a teeny tiny dose, but I really feel that I love it. It's sweet, it's supportive, it'll wake you up or put you to sleep when you need it, and I know quite a few people who really like Amanita in teeny tiny doses. Now, I'm not so sure about Amanita in large doses, even if it's properly decarboxylated. Like we have a friend, Avi Esther, and some other friends, Kevin Feeney and Carla, who these people have all had large doses of Amanita, and they all swear it's super psychedelic. And I don't doubt them, but I don't know that I need the hard drive of my brain being re-etched by what Amanita is capable of, even when it's properly prepared. I've also tried a tincture that has just a teeny tiny amount of raw, so the ibotenic acid is full on, and like 2 drops was too much. The tincture was labeled experimental, which I thought was funny. I was like, no, it's not. But you learn what you like. Like they also make a mostly but not fully decarboxylated Pantherina, and I really like that. If I only take just a few drops, it's really great for physical activity. So
yeah, when I say fun, there's air quotes behind that, and I think the idea that you bring up here, where we like medicine doesn't always need to be fun, right? And I think it's an immature perception of myself to be like, oh yeah, well it's not creating like an ecstatic feeling. That kind of gets in the way of like actual potential healing. It's like we could easily miss something by not looking at it from the correct perspective. But what you have to say is really interesting about what it can do for you. So you say when you're using it in an active sense, like you're going to go work out or go for a run or a hike or something like that.
Yeah, if I'm going to go to the gym.
So you're off 1 or 2 drops, you're feeling it's not sub-perceptual, it's actually
am I hypnotizing myself? Is it on some level placebo, with placebo being broadly defined as the placebo process and the ability of our mind and body to interact each other, regardless of our understanding the biomechanics of it? I don't know. I think I can really feel it, but it's hard to tell,
Yeah.
And I have another friend, her name is Melissa. She sometimes comes here, and she was like me, using just no more than 3 or 4 drops of the Amanita she had. And if you talk to her, you can hear her, So this is a strange way to think, because it doesn't, in some ways it's not helpful, but when we think of the number of molecules involved, the number of, so like for LSD, the example is that 1 microgram has 1.54 quadrillion molecules of LSD in it. And LSD is super, light and heavy duty. So something like these Amanita tinctures, I'm guessing that each drop has, at least trillions, if not quadrillions of molecules in it. So there is a level at which it's not that hard to put together a story about how that many molecules in a body that has 40 trillion cells, that a lot of the cells that might be affected can come into contact with even a little bit of it. And when you look on Reddit, there are people talking for almost all the substances who end up making mistakes of going an order of magnitude below what they thought they were going to take. And sometimes it's been 2 orders of magnitude, and people are still really feeling it. And you've probably run into it, but I've run into people who take vanishingly small doses of psilocybin, and they'll tell you that they're absolutely can know when they're on and when they're not on. The whole thing with not so much.
No, I think there really are people that are extremely sensitive, and there is a spiritual sensitivity, like an esoteric type thing, and then there's a biosensitivity, and those both need to be taken into account. Like I know people that can hold a mushroom and be like, oh, I know what kind of power this has versus this other one, right? Like you can feel that without ingesting it.